Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to those of you who are new. My name is Tori and this is At Home with Tori. Today's video is going to be another budgeting video, a paycheck to paycheck budget for our first one of the month of July. Even though this is already the middle of July, May kind of threw us off and so our budgets are a little bit off now, but this is our first paycheck for the month of July, and it's gonna be a little bit different than what you're used to seeing. So stick around to find out what I mean by that. The first thing that I wanted to say to you guys is just, I'm sorry for my nails. I did them yesterday, and then today I helped my niece dye her hair blue. So I don't know if it shows up on the video or not, but if you see my nail beds tinged blue, that's why, and I apologize. I think my hands are even still a little bit, oh yeah, they're still blue. So I apologize for that. I didn't know I was going to be dyeing her hair before I filmed this video. The second thing that I wanted to talk about with you guys is I switched out my binding for a binder. I think this is a 2 or 3 inch binder. I'm not 100% positive because it was one I just had laying around the house. But the reason I did that is because my binding, and it's a little worse, I mean, it's a lot worse right now because I had to take it off, but it was just bending and it was already like bent. I don't know if you can see kind of how bent it already was. That's not from me. It came shipped like that. And I am kind of particular about binding on notebooks, so I couldn't handle it anymore. So I just took this off and switched everything over. That being said, I've had a lot of questions about what workbook I use, what budget book I use, and it is this Budget by Paycheck workbook by the Budget Mom. As always, I will leave a link to her channel down below. And right now, she's getting ready to do a new launch for a new Budget by Paycheck workbook, but if you're not ready to wait for that launch because she's about to start taking pre-orders for it, you can purchase this exact book, which is undated, and it is on her website for I think $25. It is the downloadable version, which I've said in the past, but if I had it to do over again, that's what I would have done, and then I would have just either printed it off as I needed it or had it printed at like an office supply store and then just had it in the 3-ring binder like I do now. Let's get into the budget. I know you guys don't like listening to me talk for a long time, so I'll go ahead and jump right into the budget. Okay, so for those of you who have been following my channel for a while, you know that we always base our budget off of the minimum amount that we will bring in for the pay period, which is going to be $15.92. So that is what we're going to be starting with this month. I'm going to be writing in a little bit darker colors because I was told last pay period, or it was either the last pay period or the budget check-in, that you couldn't see my category. So I'm going to try to keep it in darker colors from now on so you guys can see it. I've gone ahead and written out all of our categories, and so we will just plug in the numbers. And as always, if you guys ever have questions about any of our bills, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I love being able to talk with you guys and I like interacting with y'all. So feel free to leave me any questions down in the comments below. Okay, so first is going to be our mortgage. And like I've said before, this is a paycheck to paycheck budget. This is not a monthly budget. So these numbers, at least the first 3 always come out 2 times a month. So if you're wondering why the numbers are so low, it's because that's just half of it. Our water bill, we're budgeting $100. Our auto insurance is $124. This number might be changing soon because I know that our insurance is going to come due in either August or September. I'll have to check on it again, but this might change ever so slightly. And life insurance is going to be $31. If you guys have this workbook, I would highly recommend writing out all of your bills on this calendar page. I don't show this page often because there's not really much to see, but this page helps a ton whenever you are getting ready to pay your bills. So for each pay period, she'll do it in separate colors. So like this one is blue, but this one down here is purple. And the one before was pink. And the reason she does that is so that you know which of your bills are going to be coming out of which paycheck. So like as you can see here, I have all of these bills written in blue, but there's a pink one right here. And so I know that I budgeted for it already out of this pay period. So when I get ready to write down my budget for the next pay period, I can just look back here and see which bills are going to be covered under that pay period, so it's not a guessing game. And I usually do that after every pay period just so I can be on track but not too far ahead so I don't forget. I forgot to write down gasoline and cushion. So for gasoline, we're going to do $100 like always, and cushion, I'm going to try to keep it minimal at 10 this month. Okay, so let's add them up. $11.32 is going to be our bill total, and that leaves us a leftover of $4.60. All right, now we're going to move on to the next section, which is our envelopes. And in the beginning of the video, I said that I was going to do something a little bit different this month. And that is that I'm going to be transferring all of these over to our Capital One 360 account. I know that may not be the best idea, but for some reason, my husband and I cannot stop swiping our card. And that really comes from just having kids and kind of being spur of the moment people. And so because of that, I'm going to try something different this month. And instead of using cash and instead of doing a cash stuffing, we're going to be transferring all of this over to our Capital One 360 account, where I have already set up individual envelopes or individual savings accounts for each category that I'm going to be using. Now that seems like a lot of categories, and it is. But we're going to see how it works for this pay period and probably the next one as well. And then if it's not working, we'll go back to cash. So I just want to test us and see like if this helps us keep on track better with still having that budget in mind and still being on top of my budget every single day, but having the flexibility of buying something online and not having to put cash into the bank account or whatever the case may be. Going on to this, our leftover budget is $460. And this month we're also going to adjust our food just slightly because for some reason we can't seem to stay on top of that. Our personals are going to get $13 each because the previous month was $12 and we always get $25 for the month. I added a new category also for household items. I found that I have been spending our food budget on things like paper towels, toilet paper, shampoo, things like that. So I want to have a household budget that will cover all of that. So I put in $40 from last pay period, and now I'm going to add 10 to that, and I'm going to add 10 to our pets category. I'm also going to be writing 2 more categories that we're going to do for this pay period and from now on probably. And that is a vitamins and supplements category, and I'm going to put our subscriptions on here too because we do have our Spotify subscription that comes out every single month, and so it's more of an envelope category than it is a sinking fund, so we're going to put them down here. So for vitamins and supplements, this is mainly for like Amazon because I buy my kids vitamins on Amazon, so I want to be able to have something on there as well. And then subscriptions, I always put a little bit in there. Okay, so let's add these up real quick. So $412 is going to be our total. Sorry about that, guys. My battery died. I realized when I was writing this down right now that I actually made a couple typos. So I'm going to go back and fix some of those. I wrote this totally wrong because I have dyslexia half the time when I'm writing numbers. I don't know if that's really a thing or not, but I wrote 446 and it's supposed to be 466. The other thing was, I wasn't going to do 100 in gasoline because we haven't been using the full 200. So I'm going to do $80 this month and see, or this pay period, and see how we do with that. So that's going to change our numbers down here because I totally just didn't, I don't know. I just don't pay attention sometimes. I feel like my brain just doesn't work. So let me add these up again. So that gives us $1,112. 1,000. So 1112. So that gets changed to $480. Another adjustment I'm going to make is I'm going to change our food budget to $325 instead of $350 because I wanted to try $650 before we went all the way up to $700 just to see if we can make those little adjustments. This is really bugging me now that I'm looking at it. It just looks so sloppy. So $480. So let me erase these as well, and then we'll go into it again. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes this is why I use the erasable pens a lot of the time, because I just make mistakes, and today they were kind of careless, so I apologize. Plus 10, 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 6, so $387, which leaves us a leftover of $480 minus $387, $93. We're going to come over here to our sinking funds, and like I said, all of this is going to be it's going to be transferred over to our 360 account to see how we do. I have combined our clothes and our fun categories into one category because right now we're not really using anything out of that. Every once in a while we'll go to the movies or we'll do something fun with the kids, but for the most part these are just combined because we don't use either one of them very much, but it's still nice to have a little bit of a sinking fund on the side so that, you know, when we do need to use it, it's there. So our leftover is $93, and our cell phones get $20. Our car maintenance gets $10 this month. House maintenance is $13. Christmas is $20. I'm trying to save a little bit more for Christmas. Birthdays are $10. Anniversary is $10. And clothes / fun combined gets $10 as well. $93. Okay, so once again we have a leftover of $0, but as I've told you guys before, we do budget based off of the minimum amount, and we usually end up making a little bit more. If I flip back over to this last pay period in June, you will be able to see our actual numbers added up to a little bit more. You can see we budgeted for $1,537 and we actually had $1,685. So it allowed us to put $175 more towards debt. So a little bit went towards savings, a little bit went towards debt, a little bit went to eating out, let's be real. But you can see that our actual numbers are coming in pretty equally there. Gas bill was a little bit more than, I don't know why I budgeted 40. I think I just read it wrong. I think I read it as 38, but it so we budgeted for 40, but it was actually 33, and everything else is pretty darn close. With this category, if you guys have this workbook, what I've been doing is just putting our actual amounts that I have in my sinking fund so that I can glance back quickly and see how much we actually have in those accounts. So as you can see, even though my budget looks like we're just barely gonna make it, we should be fine because we will be bringing in just slightly more than this $1,592. So I will be able to put a little bit towards extra debt and a little bit towards extra savings, hopefully. So since I'm not actually doing any cash envelope stuffing this pay period, I am not going to be filling out the cash envelope breakdown for you guys, but I will try to keep doing a budget check-in. I'll even try to do a weekly check-in just so that I can stay on top of what we're spending to see if this method is going to work or not, and I will keep you guys posted on that. That is going to be it for this video. A little bit shorter than the other ones, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that I can help some of you out there become more comfortable doing your budget. I love doing these videos for you guys, but I'm always open to suggestions, so make sure to leave me some comments down below on that. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to become part of my YouTube family. You can do that by hitting the subscribe button and clicking that bell so that you don't miss any of my future videos. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye!